Welcome back to News Insights. My name is Victory Ama and I'm your host for this segment. Today we'll be talking about Finance Minister urging Lagos to pioneer the economic expansion in Nigeria. And I have with me
Emmanuel Obeta.
Mr. Emmanuel Obeta, thank you very much for coming. He's a new guest, so it's a new discussant, and I really look forward to hearing what you have to say. And I also have Barrister Philip with me. Thank you very much for coming.
It's my pleasure always.
Okay, so we'll be talking about what Minister Wale Edun, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that well, what he said. So he said that Lagos should pioneer the expansion, the economic expansion in Nigeria. Do you agree with him, Barrister Philip?
Thank you very much. Yes, I think I agree with him to a large extent, not entirely. Yes, why I said I agree with him to a large extent is when I put in totality the summary of what he's saying, though he used the word Lagos State, is indirectly speaking to the whole country, especially the governors, what they should do to expand the economic horizon of Nigeria. He is saying, look, tax alone will not do you. You need to engage private partnership to expand the economic activity of the country. You need to go into initiative. You need to have relationship with international investors and all of that. In totality, what is said, create enabling environment to expand the economic horizon, create that enabling environment with policies that we allow private investors to invest. That tax money alone will not be enough for you to provide the infrastructure needed for the expansion of the economy. What he is saying to the Lagos State government, to the Nigerian governors, is that they should think outside the box. I agree with you.
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister Philip. Mr. Obeta, he said something. He said that whenever he has, when he consults with other governors, that they usually say that they look up to Lagos State, they ask for strategies that Lagos State. Do you agree with him that Lagos is the economic hub of Nigeria, and in what ways is it?
Well, let me say this, because when you talk about strategy is location and problem specific. And that's the mistake a lot of people make. If you employ the strategy that A employed in his own situation to your own situation, you are making a big mistake, because your situation may
It's
not be
different.
exactly the same
Yes,
thing with
that's
Mr.
true.
A. So you need to customize or generate a situation-specific strategy that is suitable to your own situation. So on that aspect, I will say no. Lagos succeeded because there are peculiarities in Lagos. Lagos is a coastal area. Lagos was the headquarters for the nation. A lot of substantial investments and establishment have been set up
And
in
even
Lagos,
infrastructure.
and infrastructures,
Well,
which
well.
has
that's
not
true.
been duplicated in so many other situations. So if you employ the strategy that Lagos will employ in some other locations, it won't work. But I'll give you an example. Look at what is happening in Abia State, for instance. The man went there were no roads. All the roads, even the major area roads, were unpassable. The Aba Port Harcourt Expressway was unpassable. So he developed a unique strategy that was, suitable for Abia State. Power was inefficient. Power was not working. He worked with the independent power supplier, which was also what the minister was talking about,
Yes,
public
that's true.
partnership.
Yes.
And they rectified the power situation. Today, investors are flocking into Abia State as the hub. Abia today is now almost the hub for the southeast in terms of business, and a whole lot of businesses are booming. So in implementing that strategy, there are local unique scenarios that can be implemented. I'll give you another example. We used to have Yankari Game Reserve that so many years ago attracted a lot of investors, a lot of visitors to that
So where is that
area.
located again?
I think it's somewhere in Bauchi. Thank you very much. Okay. And then you have the Mambila Plateau. Okay. So Recently, I was also in Niger State. I visited this research center near this hill. What's this popular hill in Abuja? This rock, Zuma Rock.
Zuma Rock.
There is a wonderful hotel resort there, capitalizing on the uniqueness of the environment. So what the various state governors should do, and that's why in economics they call competitive advantages of nations. Every state has its own competitive advantage. And if you build your strategies around those areas of your competitive advantage, you will reap result.
That's true.
But to also agree with him, the mistake that the governors are making is to think that internal generated funds is the only thing.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Piggybacking on what Mr. Beta said, he said something. He mentioned something about public and private partnership. And my next question is, how can governors, how can they do this public-private partnership? Because Minister Wale Edun, he also mentioned it. He said they have to partner with private enterprises and bring up infrastructures that will help. Now he's talking about Lagos, but we are going to be addressing this is a point of contact with 2 other states in Nigeria. So can you throw more light on this, Barrister Philip?
Yes, if you watch my opening speech, that's what I said, that why I agree with Mr. Edun. He said that, look, taxing people, tax money will not be enough. You need to think outside the box. You need to come up with policy that will create an enabling environment for private investors to invest. When you talk about the private-public partnership, it's simple. It's a policy that the governor will come up with, where they will go into a relationship with the private businessmen and women, the private investor, wherein there's percentage of government contribution and the private sector contribution. For instance, the government can construct road and provide light. A real developer will now build houses, and that will solve the housing and accommodation problem. So it is all about, strategy, like he said. It's all about strategy. Every state had competitive advantage. We also have our unique problems.
Yes.
So the truth is that while we fail mostly in Africa, this is not just Nigeria in law. We believe in copying, but we don't copy right. There's nothing wrong in copying, but when you copy something, you need to improve on it. But we just copy and paste.
Put it your own situation.
So it doesn't suit right. It's like because you saw a round peg, but you have a square hole. You just copy the round peg and put it there. It won't fit in properly. So we must look inward, like the Abia State example he gave.
Yes.
People from Delta State, the governor of Delta State, the governor of Edo State, the governor of Sokoto State, the governor of Zamfara State, the governor of Oyo State, they should look inward. For instance, in Delta State can flourish like a Lagos State because it's a coastal state. We have existing 4 seaports in Delta State that are moribund. What is the state government doing about it? What have they done aside the normal policy to ensure that these ports are effective, they are working, so that they can provide employment for their people? In Edo State, the whole place is green. What have they done about improving in the agricultural sector to provide food for the nation? For instance, Benue, for instance, that's the food basket. Are these really food basket of the nation? How many mechanized farms do you have in Benue State? These are the area the governors of those places should look at. Like, that is the competitive advantage they have over every other state. So, when you talk about private partnership, it is all about policy, good policy. When you put a policy that is on ground that does not favor private investment, they won't come to your state. But if the policy is favorable, the tax regime and all of that are friendly, investor will eventually come.
Yeah, that's true. Just like Mr. Beta said,
Exactly.
when it comes to what Abia State governor did with Abia State, and he partnered with public enterprises, and now investors are flocking into Abia State because of what they have.
That's the point.
Maybe to also add, you see, in public-private partnership, don't forget that the private person is an investor. He wants to make money. The government wants to provide facilities and infrastructures for their people. So the need of government has to meet with the need of the private person.
Yes.
And usually the background or the foundation is trust and credibility. Because you find out what happens in Nigeria today. You enter into a business partnership or private partnership with one organization. And when there is a regime change, the next regime comes and cancels that private-public partnership because they were not the people who set it up. And when you do it to the first investor, do it to the second investor, then nobody will be willing to come.
But do you think there's a way that they can stop these things? Like there are policies that will be put in place to stop the cancellation of these things so that it will encourage the public-private partnership?
It's for instance, the simple thing is when we have governors that are putting the public interest above their own personal interest and ego. I'll give you another example. I think it happened in Enugu State. The governor came and demolished markets, structures across the whole state under the guise that he wants to set up something else. You have destroyed people's livelihood. You have differentialized people. So what are you setting up that will pay back those harm that you have done?
That's true.
And when you now set it up, is it not these private individuals you will now invite again to partner with the government? So how will they do that? So when just like he said, when you're setting up a policy, it should be a balanced policy that has a human face, that is based on integrity and credibility, and that is not based on selfishness. And there should be a contract. Unfortunately, the level of compliance to contract in this country is still another issue, because the government will enter into a contract relationship with the individual. If anything happens tomorrow, the businessman does not have time for all that. So the government has the first responsibility of setting the convenient and conducive environment for business to thrive.
Yes.
Take care of insecurity, provide basic infrastructure. Then investors will bring their money and partner with the government.
But Sir Philip, you wanted to add something to
it. I was going to add to it. Where you said, how will this policy stand? I think the answer is just simple. Our institution need to be what institutions should be in other clients. Our institutions are not working. Like he said, when he mentioned contract, he didn't even want to belabor himself because he said the levels of compromise. Yes, even when you go to the court to enforce your right in a contract relationship that is being breached, the court will be compromised and all that. We need a very strong...
it takes a very long period.
Yes, we need a very strong institution. Strong institution. So that when policies are in place, you can't just preach it. Whether, like I said, government is ruling. It's not stagnating. It doesn't rest and end with one person.
Yes.
It's a continuous thing.
It's a body.
You come and you do your bit and you leave. And the other person it continue from where you stop. You understand? The policy of Biden today will not go away because Donald Trump is coming in tomorrow.
Yes. It's supposed to uphold that same policy.
Exactly. That's what we need. We need strong institution. Strong institution. That's the answer to all our problems. Where people break the law, they pay the price. When you see what is wrong, you say it. In America, there's a going, if you hear anything, you say it. If you see something, say it. I am reporting you are reporting me. That's the way it works there. And the person you are reporting me to takes the initiative to punish me. And the person I'm reporting you take the initiative to punish me because they are institution. They don't belong to anybody. Unlike what we have here. Until we put that right, it will still be a long way to go. A long way. Like, take for instance the story of Enugu State. And it also happened in Kano State. Because you are MPP government, when you come, you decide to destroy APC structure. Just for what reason? APC didn't do anything in Kano State. It's the government of Kano State that did those things.
Something, not APC.
So you are representing the government. You need to either improve on them or maintain them.
Yes.
Until we have that understanding, we won't go anywhere. We can talk from here till tomorrow. We're still going to remain the same place. But good and fine. The Minister of Finance has set the ball rolling. He has given the marching order to the governors that, look, you need to think outside the box to attract investment to your state so that you can expand your economic horizon.
And not just getting revenue from taxes. It's not enough.
Employing all sort of tax.
Exploiting people.
Tax will be harassing people all over the place
Yes,
to go to in
exploiting
the name of revenue
what people
collection.
have.
Because you see, the benefit is when this public-private partnership is set up, it creates a ripple effect on the economy. The economy will expand, funds will come in, people will make money, okay? And then employment will exist. So and it will provide businesses for so many people.
Yes.
So when you're now doing a good business, making profit, and they ask you to pay tax out of the business you have done, you'll gladly do that. But when there is no
Thank you
business
very much,
and
Mr.
you're
Weda.
forcing you to pay tax, it becomes something else.
Thank you so much for coming to this segment. Thank you for honoring the invitation. Thank you, Barrister Philip. I really enjoyed this segment. It was very insightful. Thank you so much for your opinions.
Our pleasure.
I remain your host, Ama Victory. See you next time. Bye.